Welcome back to another episode of Lockstarz. My name is Justin.
I'm Jordan.
Let's get it!
Can you feel the power?
And we are back. What's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm alright.
Alright. Dude, it's a lot of exciting news that's been coming out, dude. This like dual terminal stuff has been absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's a lot of good support. A lot of good support. The new Nekroz cards.
I was reading
The
those.
whole quick play ritual spell.
I was reading those earlier. I was like, dude, I know like the deck is known for its consistency. Right, that when it first came out, it was like insanely consistent,
Right.
especially for a ritual deck, right? But the cards they have now, I guess I'm surprised, but it still does make sense because the cards that are out now are make the deck still insanely consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just surprised on how insanely consistent it is. I don't know. It's like, I think the first card I saw, Avance, has like like the first two cards, the two new monsters, they're both Stratos, basically.
Right.
And then I'm like, and I know like, I mean, again, you know, it's still pretty crazy. What do you think?
Yeah. The Nekroz cards. I mean, I guess they're I guess they're kind of crazy, and I don't know. I kind of expected it. A quick play ritual spell. That's something That's something they needed because they didn't really have a way to play. I mean, that's every deck these days who plays on the opponent's turn. They just gave Nekroz. A way to do it now. Now you can get Trishula on your own turn. So have fun doing that.
Yeah, I guess that's falls in line with a whole bunch of other stuff that Yu-Gi-Oh's been going through.
Right.
I feel like they didn't. I feel like the deck was overall complete. Like I felt like there were no missing like spots that they need, like missing things that they needed.
Yeah, they didn't need. They just needed something to put them into the modern game.
Yeah, to modernize the deck.
I think. I mean. Well, I think Avance is crazy. Like the fact you can use it as an entire tribute, and then when you tribute it, you get back like it says you get back any. I had to read it like 3 times. It says you get back any number of banished Nekroz cards with different names to your hand. That's broken.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I thought like maybe it's like 1 to 3, 1 or 2. No, it's any number. So it's like. Theoretically, if you have 5, you can get back all of them, which is just stupid.
But it kind of it's kind of exciting because I think there's going to be an environment. Maybe we're going to get more into this, but it's going to be an environment of different types of decks, I guess. Like
what we need to do is bring back and get Shadal's more support.
Moving on, I knew you were going to say that.
Right, give Shadal's more support. That way, when Nekroz comes around. For the first time in 9 years, we're gonna have Nekroz, Shadal's, and let's throw in Satellar Knights. They're getting more support, right?
There's already a fusion deck that they're bringing out, and it's my deck, the Gem Knights.
No one cares about Gem Knights.
No one cares about literally no one cares about Shadal's.
Shadal's is like one of the best archetypes in history.
Why is it in the dual terminal?
Like it is in the dual terminal. It's not in this pack.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why
because it's not part of the original dual terminal
That's irrelevant because Nekroz aren't either.
Okay, I guess, but still,
literally, Konami did not care about your deck.
We're gonna get more. All right, when we get more Shadows, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear.
You're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna get.
I want to hear
We're gonna be waiting another 9 years for your deck to get more support.
I don't care. On that day, in 9 years, you're gonna say to yourself, I'm a loser who was wrong.
God. Anyway.
And why is the new Nekroz ritual a pendulum monster? Why? Why do we keep giving random archetypes pendulum monsters instead of just making us a good pendulum deck? Why doesn't it? Hold on. Do they even have another pendulum monster? Hold up. Let me check real quick. I don't even think they have a pendulum monster.
They don't. I don't think they do.
I mean, they might have it from that other archetype that's like all the dual terminal, the Zephyra archetype.
Oh, maybe.
Let me check. Nekroz. Okay, they do. They have one other pendulum monster.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, Zephyra Saber. Zephyra Saber, Swordsman of the Nekroz. So it's like, and
I feel like it's more of a Zephyr than a Nekroz, but
well, probably. I mean, the point is you can use it in both, theoretically.
right, yeah,
You can tribute this card from your hand or face of it to tribute. Yeah, okay, this card sucks. So it's like,
but you don't need it though. You don't need it because it's
of course you don't need it because the card sucks.
it's a ritual archetype.
But-
Wait, is it like removal or something? Can it like remove it?
Okay, so it's pendulum effect as like as like just like the other Zephyra pendulum monsters. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except Nekroz or Zephyr monsters, right? You can tribute this card from your hand or face up on your field. Tribute monsters from your hand or field. Wait, hold up. Okay, you can tribute this card from your hand or field. Then that's the cost. And then you tribute monsters from your hand or field. Then ritual summon Nekroz, ritual monster from your hand, whose level exactly equals the total level.
So
of
it's
those
not
monsters.
removal. It's not removal.
No,
Because that's what
it's just a ritual spell.
that's the current. That's what the current. What the new pendulum monster is.
Oh, hold on, I forgot. Wait, never mind. I'm tripping.
Yeah. So
I mean, wait, this is kind of the same thing, but still. Anyway,
maybe if they make a dual terminal 3, right? Then they'll come out with more Shaddolls. But until then, like there's already a fusion deck that's going to be used in that environment. Right, I'm guessing they want you to have the options of the different like mechanics. With Gem Knights, it's fusion, and they're giving these decks like a lot of recycling. I mean, Gem Knights already had they had recycling, but now it's like modernized, and the same thing with Nekroz. But that's gonna be like a devastating. But I mean, I don't know how powerful that particular effect is going to be, that third effect of Avance. But it seems like I don't know if it's going to be necessarily a weakness, like a strength and a weakness. You know what I mean? Where I definitely don't think it's going to be a choke point. It obviously is a powerful effect, but I just don't know how devastating it might be to stop that effect. Is what I mean.
well, I think it's supposed to work with. Where is it? It's supposed to work with because they banish their cards. Like for some of their rituals,
right?
I think they're quick play. You can banish this card, yeah. So you can banish this card and one other Nekroz card, add a Nekroz spell from your deck to your hand. So you can banish this, use this, add back, and then ritual summon.
The format is gonna be so hilarious because it's just gonna be spamming your mechanic. You're just gonna be spamming rituals. Gem Knights are gonna be spamming fusions. What else is coming out? Fableds, right?
Yeah, Fables.
I don't know how Fables work, but I'm guessing it's just XC spam, right?
What? Fables are a synchro archetype.
Okay, whatever. I don't know anything about that deck. I don't know.
Anyway,
but synchro spam. There, are you happy?
No, because
man. All right. What else deck
you're
is
uneducated about fucking Fables?
I'm sorry. It's just like your Shaddolls. It's irrelevant to me. So calm down. Is there another archetype coming out in there?
The
Jurags? They're XCs, right?
No, they're synchro also.
When's the XCs come? I thought there's gonna be more XCs. Okay,
the only XCs that have dual terminal is
actually, that's
Knights, I think.
I
think they're the only XCs dual terminal archetype.
Really? I guess that's a good point.
Or no, actually, no, wait. Are they Constellar? They're not part of dual terminal. I don't think Constellar.
Well, the L Swarm.
Yeah, I guess they count. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I'd be excited about that. Obviously, more L Swarm support, but very happy.
But all the support, you don't know. I mean, okay, so obviously everyone loves getting legacy support.
Mm-hmm.
And it modernizes your deck. And who doesn't love shiny new cards for their favorite archetype.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, is it really a good thing? It's not always a good thing. Definitely, legacy support and the dual terminal is like, I think it's like, how do I say this? Right now, it's like the poster boy for like new support. With the Gemini's, Jurag, and Fableton, etc. And then, more recently, we got Six Sam, the Atlanteans. Earlier this year, we got Exodia, we got the Fire Kings.
What do you mean? Like what do you mean? Is it, it cannot be good?
Well, it can't always be good because, like with Yubel, right? Yubel got legacy support. We got Phantom Yubel, which is known, people call like a custom card because how powerful it is. It doesn't it doesn't negate, it doesn't destroy, it replaces a whole effect, right? Which plays around a lot of other things. But that whole deck, I enjoy the deck, but it's a Fiend Link deck with with Yubel thrown in there, right?
Yes. Well, so.
Okay, but that takes away of the identity of what the deck is.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm getting into. Like, why is it bad?
Why is it? What's the point of making it? There's no point in giving a deck new support if you're taking away its identity. Imagine you wanted to play Gem Knights, but Gem Knights were you weren't you were barely summoning Gem Knights. You were mainly Link summoning. Let's just pretend it's like a Rock Link deck. It's not a Gem Knight deck. It's a Rock Link deck that uses Gem Knights.
Right. But what? Well, in terms of Yubel, that example. What identity did Yubel? Was there even a Yubel deck that existed?
Yeah.
And
the whole point of Yubel is to destroy herself, and then you get your opponent to attack. Okay. And don't get me wrong, it does do that, but that's not the point of the deck.
That's what I'm saying. Was there? So there was a deck before this modernized Yubel deck, like a Yubel deck.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily competitively viable, but there was.
No, but I'm not saying competitively viable. I'm just saying there was a deck that you could build.
Yes.
Okay, I'd have to see that because that seems pretty.
But it's not just about Yubel though. It's about any other archetype that takes away any other support that takes away its identity from the deck. Just last year when we had the Six Samurais. Six Samurais, the Super Heavy Samurais.
Mm-hmm.
The Super Heavy Samurais, it was just like we talked about with Urus. It was just they just used Super Heavy Samurai support to build a big board with Barone, Savage, Dispatter, and then it just had a splash of a few Super Heavy Samurais in there. Mm-hmm. It was just that's all it was. That's not Super Heavy Samurai deck.
They stood steadfast though. You couldn't break that board. You couldn't break that board.
It's not the point. And even with archetypes that stay, even with support that stay within its own archetype, the Black Wings, that new Black Wing support, while it is good, all it did was just make Black Wings a big board builder deck that just use its counters, its feather counters, whatever they call it. Mm-hmm. To inflict damage or almost stun your opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see how that could be seen as bad.
So not all I heard Joshua Schmidt, right? Because we're getting new Glad Beast support.
Really?
Yeah, we're getting the new Glad Beast support. I'm not gonna go over all of it, but basically their new big boss monster gives you 2 battle phases, right? Because That's how Glad Beast plays. It plays in the battle phase.
Right.
But Joshua Schmidt mentioned how maybe some decks just be left in the past, right? Not every deck just needs to be modernized because first of all, Glad Beast, it needs to have pretty much a successful battle phase, right? It needs to go into the battle phase, successfully attack, and then after they attack, they have to survive, and then they shuffle themselves back to summon their other monsters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much an outdated concept, for modern Yu-Gi-Oh. The battle phase is no one really plays. Besides Tenpai, but that's Tenpai.
Mm.
No one really does anything in the battle phase, or monsters aren't necessarily surviving battle phases unless that's what they're supposed to do. So we shouldn't always not all decks just need the support. Even with Josh said, giving them a second battle phase, that's just giving them an extra layer of power they need in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, which isn't necessarily like a good thing. Some decks should just be left to the past.
You know, this is this is gonna kind of get into like the overall nostalgia thing that's been going on in society, and then we can make that quick pivot. Then we can get back to the main topic. You know, with TV shows, and I guess with overall pop culture, there's been this this not necessarily urged by the players, but urged by the people who make TV shows and games and other things to go back to these nostalgic times, right? So they bring back these old archetypes to for some odd reason, because I mean they're kind of guaranteed to get a positive response, right? At the same time, it does kind of make them lazy, right? I mean, Disney does this a lot. Obviously, there's been movies and TV shows that have been coming out that are from our childhood, and they're usually and in terms of that, they're usually worse. And I don't know. And then now this has been brought back into Yu-Gi-Oh, or not brought back in, but has been brought into Yu-Gi-Oh. But at the same time, though, like, I mean, players kind of like ask for a sense of this, right? They want to get back to an older time in Yu-Gi-Oh. So I think they ask for it on some level.
Of course, everyone asks for like support for their favorite archetype or older archetypes. That's not, there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that's wrong is the some of the support they actually give that just takes away from what a deck actually is.
Yeah, sure, but to play in the modern game, then I mean, maybe players don't want to necessarily play their deck in the modern game, or at least they want it to be like a rogue deck. But if at the same time, if they want it to be competitively viable, then I guess you have to veer away from an old kind of play. Like, a lot of decks have to be more aggressive to be competitively viable.
Then I mean,
but at the same time, at the same time, it's kind of the theme Konami's been taking with their decks. Like, every deck is good now, right? Not just like these, the top three or just one. Now you have every fucking deck.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all. I mean, I don't think people are necessarily asking for their decks to be competitively viable. They just want new support. I mean, maybe it can't. I mean, I think decks can be competitively viable without you taking away their identity.
Sure, but then I think they'd be at the level of how Konami's like doing it now. They'd probably be a level of like rogue.
I mean, you can still do that without taking away a deck's identity.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But...
Like the only way, like, for it to be top tier, no one's asking for their deck to be top tier. The only way things like Yubel and Six Samurai, super heavy samurai top tier, is that's what they did. They took away. Well, I mean, Yubel's kind of more like a pile deck, but still, you took away the deck's identity for it to be competitively viable, right? And now you can still play these like the new Mermail deck, right? The new Mermail deck isn't absolutely busted. It does have some busted cards, like that card that just makes you look at your opponent's hand and take one away. Stupid card. But that deck is more it's on rogue stats. It's still a good deck. But, you made it more competitively viable without taking away its identity.
How does it play? I don't even know how it plays.
I mean, it's just, you never played against, like, Mermails before?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, how does it play?
I mean, it usually, like, it's a bunch of, like, different combo lines. It usually is, like, the Atlanteans to, like, the Mermail monsters, some of them discard themselves to the graveyard, send their other cards to the graveyard to get off other effects.
What, like, is it just an aggressive water deck? Is that all it is?
I mean, it's more aggro, yes.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. But go ahead.
But yeah, they didn't take away the deck. What the deck does, they just gave it. They gave it better support. The new Six Samurais. They didn't. I mean, I played against Six Samurai once. All he did was like spam the field to get what, like 300 counters on his literally 300 counters on his gateway. But the deck can be, but the deck isn't broken though. They kept what the deck does while giving it, like cooler cards.
Sure.
But the point is, not all these older decks need support. Like, it's cool that Gem Knight's gotten negate. Like, that's, it's what the deck needed. But it didn't it got too close to taking away what the deck's identity.
What do you mean?
Like, it doesn't negate. It spams its monsters and recycles its monsters. It doesn't create a whole bunch of interruptions. It's like Gem Knights is more of an aggro deck.
You're saying because it has a negate, it got too close to
Yes.
It got too close to not having its original identity.
Yes.
I guess I see your point in that. I guess it's not the typical. I guess it's not part of the typical Gem Knight effects. I disagree that it's gotten away from its identity, I guess, but I see how people could. I see your perspective. I mean, I like that.
I mean, of course you like it. You like Gem Knights, but
Yeah,
that's you. You're biased.
you're biased because you don't like Gem Knights.
I never said I didn't like Gem Knights. I never said that.
Yeah, you're a hater,
I
dude.
never said
You're
that.
a real hater when it comes to Gem Knights.
Like, only because you like it. But Gem Knights are fine.
It's better than fine.
Like, but the point is,
Great.
giving decks different cards that they don't need takes away from their identity.
I mean, yeah, I see. I see your point. But it depends on in terms of need, it depends on the context of why they're needed, right? If you're just if you're just like kind of modernizing the deck, right? If you're just like we're gonna give some support because it's fun to give this. We think it'll be fun to give this deck support, so we're gonna give it kind of some modern effects while still keeping its identity, so people can like kind of play it casually and at maybe small tournaments. That's different than like to making a deck like a meta contender. Right?
No, yeah, that's all completely fine. They're like there's just has to be a balance, and sometimes they do a good job balancing it. Sometimes they do a horrible job balancing these the new support.
Sure.
But but things like some decks just need to be left to older formats.
I mean, yeah, I agree that they need to stop breaking back old decks at this point. Just start. I guess is. I mean, I guess this is kind of a newer era now. I don't mind an era of. I don't mind like one era of like blast from the past. Like if this coming format after what's the next set coming out?
Legacy of Darkness?
Yeah.
Or just the new box with crossover breakers. Darkness.
What deck is coming out in December?
That's crossover breakers.
Okay, whatever format comes out after crossover breakers, if we get to this blast from the past format, I won't mind that as long as they keep it isolated.
What is that? What does that have to do with blast from the past?
The dual terminal?
What's that to do with crossover breakers?
Nothing. I'm saying if I don't mind if after the format, the crossover breakers format, there's a blast from the past format as long as it's isolated.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Nobody minds. I don't think anybody minds there are these new decks in the format. As long as they're as long
Sure. I mean, yeah, on some level. I think. I mean, I don't know how UBell plays, but I think the decks, the support now, at least that I've seen. I mean, I have to see. I know how gladiators play, gladiator bees play. I know like their win conditions. But in terms of having a deep feel for their identity, I couldn't say I know that. But I think I think if you have, if there's a foundation of their identity there, I think it's fine depending on your purpose for the deck. Who has the most legacy support anyway? Is it Black Wings?
I guess so.
I wouldn't be surprised if it were Black Wings. That'd be pretty interesting to know who has the most cards in their archetype. Yeah, that's very. Are they still coming out with Blackwing support? Like, have they come out with Blackwing support in like the last like 5 years?
Well, I think the last 5 years probably, but I think that's what most of the new cards are.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I don't know. I can see people's point when it comes to like their negatives when it comes to legacy support. I don't necessarily share the feeling.
So would you be completely fine with a deck that plays Gem Knights cards, but most of the part doesn't do what like Gem Knights do, for the most part?
Yeah, I'd obviously have a problem with that, but you know, I don't think most decks are doing that.
I'm not saying most decks are doing that.
Maybe there's like, if it's a couple decks and it's fine, then I mean that's just gonna happen. I mean that's how like Dark Magician was like very briefly, right? It wasn't really to my knowledge, like there wasn't it didn't play like a I'd have to look at it to know the name, but my point is that I don't think it happens like that often.
I mean, just because it doesn't have that often doesn't mean it's not like I think it's still a problem.
Like a huge problem?
I mean, it's not it's not one of the biggest problems Yu-Gi-Oh has, but
No, what I'm saying in terms of like legacy support.
Well, yeah, it is like in terms of legacy support, it is like the biggest problem. Like, there's no point. Like, there's just no point in giving legacy support if you're just gonna make it like busted, and not necessarily busted, but just takes away what the deck does. Like just it having like it should add to what the deck does, not replace what the deck does.
Sure. I mean, I don't disagree with that. Let's make a whole new archetype at that point.
Exactly. And it might be different with Dark Magician. I mean, Dark Magician, I don't necessarily know what Fusion Master you're talking about for.
I mean, yeah, I have to see it. It wasn't a major point. But
my point is that even with the Dark Magician, at least the deck, I think they gave that deck how do I say this, like at least the the new Exodia cards. The new Exodia didn't necessarily have a identity before, besides just draw into Exodia. But now with a new support, they didn't necessarily give an identity, but they gave it just like something. They gave it good cards with all the new Exodia cards, which I think is still a good thing without making it like, I don't know, Exodia Link or something. I don't know.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, not everything should come back. Most decks should be left in the past. It does seem like a lot have been coming out lately, but there's a certain point where it's just too much. It's just too much. Like, just stick with the new archetypes. At the same time, I don't think they'll do it for that long. So I don't think it's a huge issue. So, I mean, what do you think?
I mean, as long as they stick to giving them, as long as they don't, how do I say this? As long as they stick to staying in the deck's parameter, not the deck's parameters, but just keep it, just make it do what it usually does. Keep it cute. As long as the deck, they stay doing what they.
No. What did you just say?
I said keep it cute.
Oh my! If you use one more of these internet terms, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you, dude. I'm gonna smack you with this obelisk plushie right here. Keep it cute. Get out of here, man.
Freaking loser, dude.
I'm the loser. I'm the loser. You use these weird terms every time. It's like almost every episode.
Most of these terms aren't weird terms. It's just
They
terms,
are weird terms.
It's just terms you don't.
Who says
freaking
keep
know.
it cute? Who says that?
People.
Pumpkin spice white girls?
Like, okay, that's one phrase out of all the phrases you just happen to not know. You didn't know what the word custom meant for a card.
Right.
When people have been like you could just use from context. You thought that was weird.
Anyway, like if I go to a random person and say, "Hey, man, this card's custom," or "This card's broken," I don't think they're gonna meet those context clues. But anyway, I mean, I don't think they're gonna make those connections.
A person who doesn't know Yu-Gi-Oh. Sure.
But anyway, I'm trying to close out here because I'm hungry. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be trying to do this, like live streams pretty soon. That'll be exciting. I'm gonna see depending on what am I gonna do for like Anaheim or whatever YCS is coming up. I don't think any YCS is coming up before Anaheim, but excuse me, definitely want to like live stream. Start live streaming like commentary and reactions and things like that. But anyway, we will appreciate you guys for tuning in. And
I'm right, he's wrong. Goodbye.
I'm just gonna edit that out. It doesn't really fucking matter. But anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.